Okay, so you know how like this time of year, it's kind of tough getting out of bed sometimes, and
Totally.
like
Absolutely.
it's we're gonna do a deep dive on that feeling. We're gonna talk about seasonal affective disorder,
Yeah.
SAD for short, and we've got a video script here, all about it.
Cool.
And I think a lot of people, at least I know, I always feel this way. I always feel like more sluggish in the wintertime and just kind of blah.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna look into all that and really figure out what's actually going on in our brains.
Yeah, definitely. I think, most people experience some version of this.
Yeah.
And like they call it the winter blues and whatever, but it's
Right.
it's like a real thing.
Yeah, what's the actual science behind this? Like,
Yeah.
is it really just the lack of sunlight?
Yeah, I mean it really boils down to that. It's that our bodies are so in tune with the seasons, like we've evolved that way. And when it comes to SCAD, it really comes down to the science of sunlight or rather the lack of it.
Okay, so this feeling of the winter blues, like
Yeah.
it's an actual physical like thing.
It's a real physical basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Reduced sunlight, especially during the fall and winter, it disrupts our internal clock. And that clock relies on light cues
Yeah.
to regulate our sleep-wake cycles,
Right.
hormone production, the whole thing.
So the video script we have mentions serotonin and melatonin being affected.
Yeah.
Can you kind of break that down? Like what's
Yeah,
going on there?
sure. Yeah, so you can think of serotonin as kind of your brain's like feel-good chemical,
Okay.
And so when you have less sunlight, it can lead to a dip in serotonin production.
Right.
And particularly, this affects the 5-HT1A receptors, which are key for regulating mood.
Oh, okay.
And then on the flip side, you've got melatonin, which is the hormone that kind of makes us sleepy.
Right.
That starts to increase as darkness sets in. And
Yeah.
so it's like your body's natural sleep potion.
Yeah.
As darkness falls, your brain starts burring it up,
Yep.
signaling it's time to rest. But when this whole system gets thrown off by, the shifting daylight hours,
Right.
it can leave you feeling really drained and down.
So that's interesting that even just like small changes
Yeah.
in the light exposure can really throw things off.
Yeah, definitely.
So then what kind of symptoms should people be on the lookout for?
Oh,
Besides just the obvious, I'm tired.
yeah. I
I don't
mean,
want to get out of bed.
aside from those classic symptoms, the low energy, oversleeping,
Yeah.
SAD can also bring on like difficulty concentrating,
Okay.
changes in appetite, often leading to weight gain.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, those, persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness that
Right.
are kind of the hallmarks of depression.
Yeah, I know I definitely turn into like a carb monster when the days get shorter.
Totally.
It's like my body just wants to like hibernate or something.
Yeah.
And actually the video even showed this image of someone like practically drowning in snacks,
Yeah.
which I thought was very relatable.
Yeah. It's a very apt visual.
Yeah.
It highlights how SAD affects our entire system.
Right. So we know the symptoms, but the good news is there's actually lots of ways to tackle this.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about some of the treatments.
Yeah.
What's effective?
Okay. Well, one of the most popular and effective treatments is light therapy.
Oh, okay. So it's literally like a
Yeah.
dose of sunshine on demand.
Exactly. Precisely. Light therapy uses a special lamp
Okay.
that mimics sunlight,
Interesting.
helping to reset your internal clock and boost serotonin production. And did you know that light therapy is actually most effective in the morning?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like jump-starting your internal clock for the day.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm starting to understand how this is really complex.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh,
Yeah.
get over it.
Mind over matter.
Yeah, it's an actual physiological thing.
Absolutely.
Um, so what about like therapies like CBT? How does that fit into this whole treatment thing?
Yeah. So CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy,
Go
plays
ahead.
a crucial role in managing the mental and emotional aspects of SAD.
Right.
It helps you to identify and change those kind of negative thought patterns that come up.
Okay.
So think of it like retraining your brain
Yeah.
to approach those winter challenges in a more positive way.
So even though those negative feelings are real,
Yeah,
we can kind of learn to manage them a
exactly.
little better.
Exactly.
And then, we can't underestimate just lifestyle changes, can
Sure.
we? Like
Yeah.
even when it's cold, even when it's gloomy out,
Yeah,
getting some outdoor time,
for sure.
staying active,
Yeah,
eating a balanced diet can really impact how you cope with this.
absolutely.
Any particular tips on that front?
I mean, just think about the things that kind of boost your mood in general,
All
you
right.
know? like taking a brisk walk in the park, even on a cloudy day,
Right.
trying a new recipe that's like healthy and good for you.
Yeah.
These small steps can make a big difference.
Yeah. This is a great reminder that SAD is treatable.
Yeah,
And there's no need for anyone to suffer in silence.
totally.
I think it's way more common
Oh, for sure.
than people think. And there are resources available to
Absolutely.
help people.
Couldn't agree more. And this brings up a really interesting question to me.
Yeah.
You know, if our internal clocks are so sensitive to these natural light patterns,
Right?
could other aspects of modern life, like being exposed to artificial light all the time
Right.
or looking at screens late at night,
Yeah.
could that be kind of subtly messing with our moods too?
Wow. That's something
Yeah.
to think about for sure.
Uh,
Well, this deep dive has been really eye-opening.
Yeah,
Really shows you the connection between our environment and our well-being.
for sure.
So if you're feeling down this winter,
Yeah.
don't hesitate to reach out for help.
Yeah, good advice.
Brighter days are ahead.
Absolutely.
There's support out there to help you find them.
For sure.
Okay, well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive
Yeah, this was great.
into SSE.
Really interesting.
We'll see you next time.
Sounds good.